Welcome to Spinal Life Takeaways. These are bite-sized information segments designed to give you just a taste of what Spinal Life Australia can offer you. So let's dig in. Today we have Lisa Bidgood here, a Spinal Life occupational therapist and also passionate about yoga. Hi, how are you going?
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us today. So why yoga?
Yoga to me is a way of connecting with myself, but it's also from a health perspective, helps me balance physically, mentally, and it's also a social experience as well. And everybody could benefit from attending a yoga class.
So people with all different types of disabilities are able to attend your yoga classes.
Absolutely. It's at the end of the day, it's just yoga. There are some places that call it adapted yoga, accessible yoga, but at the bottom of it all, it's just yoga and anyone can participate.
And what got you into doing yoga? Do you have qualifications or, you've got occupational therapy as a qualification, but on top of that, you do yoga. So how does that help you with showing other people how to do positions in yoga?
Yep. It came from my own passion of doing yoga and actually meeting a client as an occupational therapist who desperately wanted to get back into practicing yoga, and it got me to thinking, how could this person with their body they have now, how could they actually participate in these very active classes? So I got about to looking on the internet just to see what was available and found some teaching spaces in the US. So I travelled to the US on several occasions to work under some people who specifically work for yoga for people who have chronic illness, PTSD or disability.
Mm-hmm. If a member from Spinal Life Australia wanted to come and see what yoga looks like here, what could they expect?
Okay. Generally with our classes, they all last an hour, so it's 60 minutes. We spend the first 5-10 minutes doing some breath work just to, to settle ourselves into the practice. Around 45 minutes of physical practice, which is asana, and that's always adapted to meet the person's needs on that day. And then we have a meditation session at the end. And if you happen to bring a carer along with you, the carer or support worker or family member gets to lay on the floor and enjoy the meditation as well.
Is it necessary that all people lay on the floor with your yoga classes?
Absolutely not. It's absolutely up to the individual. If you choose to get off the floor, we've got mats and bolsters that are able to support you. But if you're wanting to stay in your chair, it's perfectly up to you.
Okay. So what are some of the health benefits of doing yoga?
Yep. So there's a lot of research on the benefits of yoga, and it particularly focuses on the physical, the spiritual, or the emotional level. So generally what you may experience after a yoga class is increased flexibility or suppleness in your muscles, better balance and stability for your posture, improved respiration. But I think probably what most of everyone needs is a stress relaxation opportunity. But also with these groups, because one of the classes that we're offering at the moment is the small groups, you've also got that social interaction as well. So you can have a chat with people pre and post class.
Okay. How often should I be doing yoga?
Every day. The thing is to bring elements of yoga into your life. So the idea of the practice is the breathing exercises or the grounding techniques that you learn are designed to take off the mat. So if you're in the cereal aisle in Woolies and you're feeling particularly stressed or anxious, you can fall back on these techniques to actually help you get through that process.
Okay. So we were talking before about what people could expect coming into one of your classes. I've noticed that you've brought some things along. I was wondering if you can explain what these are and how we would be using them.
So these are just a few of the props that we would use in class, and they are the same props that you would find in any yoga studio around the world. So what we would use for straps, for example, it might help for someone who might have some upper limb difficulties, and they can actually help use the strap to hold or to reach particularly. And also for blocks are very handy to use as support. So if someone needs a little bit more support through their sides, or for those that are able to, can sit on. So they're just used to enhance that person's practice.
Okay. What type of positions would somebody be doing in one of your classes?
Yep. So the classes vary every week, every class. So every time you come, you'll have something different, but there's always something that's consistent, and that's usually a sun salutation.
Mm-hmm.
So in our version of a sun salutation, depending whether you're sitting on the floor or you're choosing to stay in your wheelchair, there's a lot of a lengthening to the best of your ability through your legs, sitting up as tall as you possibly can to find that sense of expansion and length through the rib cage. And then if it's part of your practice, we actually lift the arms up as we breathe. So every time we try to make a movement, we try to link our breath to that, and that also helps with that calming and relaxation sense. When we look at breath work, which is what we start and finish the class with, that helps us kind of like land and center and to find that sense of connection with ourselves. We generally will put one hand on our tummy in some practices, and some at other times we'll have hands on the chest, and we'll allow our eyes to close, and then we start to bring our awareness inwards. So we look at the more internal self rather than getting distracted with what is around us. Sometimes we will actively choose breath work that will influence our breath, and other times we just connect and pay attention to it.
Thank you so much for paying attention. That's a good one for me. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your passion about yoga.
Pleasure, thank you.
If you're interested in joining one of our classes, feel free to contact our customer engagement team and book in. We hope to see you there.